Well, it's that time that you've been waiting for. Hanoch Young, Mike Clayton, the update from Israel. And Hanoch, we've got a lot of miles. We got connected yesterday by something which is kind of strange. We had
Right.
a terrible storm here in Franklin, and you had one there in Modine, but ours is kind of in season, okay? But it was
Yeah.
so bad. You guys had a pretty bad storm too.
Yeah, throughout the country, a lot of rain and wind. Very, very strange for the mother. This is a very late rain, and there are those who believe that this is a really good sign. Let's hope so.
Well, we'll find out. So we're having some really bad internet connection problems today. We're going to try to work through it, see what happens. But so
Right.
let's get right to the news that's going on. We got things happening in Gaza, in Syria, Israel opening up again. But the news article I want to talk about real quickly first is Jerusalem Post is reporting that sometime in June the airport's going to open.
Yeah, this is really, things are fast and furious. So let's talk about the COVID-19 situation. Then we'll get into elements of security. And being half an Israeli and half a former New Yorker, I think I can talk fairly quickly. So let's find out.
Go.
Israel began easing back on a number of restrictions. The original plan, as of about a week ago, was they would do a little at a time, evaluate it, and every 2 weeks make another change. Well, that plan seems to have right out the window, and things are opening up fast and furiously.
Hmm.
So on the one hand, you still have the situation where you're supposed to wear a mask. Right? Now, I seem to be the only one in my city of 100,000 people that wears the old, American bandanas, particularly with, Marine Corps digital camouflage and this old thing as well. So, I don't know, for whatever reason it's a bit more comfortable and people stay the heck out of the way. So let me tell you what's going on, and it's going quickly. Train service is expected to be resumed within the next 10 days. Train service had been suspended. Bus service has been increased. And Machane Yehuda, the outdoor market, and the Shuk HaCarmel in Tel Aviv, the outdoor markets are opening as of tomorrow. Just 48 hours ago, they were talking about in another few weeks, tomorrow. The gym that I belong to, cue the music for Rocky, bum, 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 which is in the mall in Modi'in. And if you're wondering which mall in Modi'in, there is one mall in Modi'in. They are opening up tomorrow. They don't have firm guidelines from our Ministry of Health yet. So they wrote no showers, no group exercise classes, and you have to wear a mask while you're exercising. Whatever. Okay. So what is driving this? On the one hand is the exceptionally great results that Israel has fighting the virus. There are, as of now, under 240 Israelis that have died from this, about 16,000 plus that are ill. Now, if you compare this to comparable populations, our population is 9 million. When you compare it to Sweden or Belgium, we're doing extraordinarily well. Now, of course, our prime minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, is claiming all credit for this because of his leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I think it's intervention. Are we frozen?
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's divine intervention because if you look at Jewish communities throughout the world, particularly in New York City and in the UK. In England, there's been a disproportional amount of Jewish deaths within the Orthodox community compared to the general population. So that's my little theory on that, number one. Netanyahu, in a press conference the other day, actually compared the statistics in Israel to New York City. My ears picked up when I heard that, because New York has slightly under 9 million people. And they've had between 16 and 18,000, depending on how you want to define it, deaths. You cannot compare Israel to New York City.
No.
Apples and oranges. We're totally, walnuts in orange. But for whatever reason, things are going fine. The problem is Israelis are not good. We don't follow rules very well. With the COVID-19, we did. And we stayed home for Pesach. People had Seder alone. And then they found out that Netanyahu, President Rivlin, Avigdor Lieberman, all these people had guests. Israelis don't like being made what's called a flyer. A flyer is the fool, the guy that, so people began loosening up. Anyway, so things are opening up. Let's get to the issue of travel. Right now, our government is meeting with the governments of Greece and Cyprus to create a kind of safe corridor to allow for tourism between our countries, because they have also handled the virus well. It really is for Greece and Cyprus, not for Israel. 30% of Greece's gross domestic product is from tourism. Israelis are dying to get out of here. They will flock to Greece. You won't hear Greek in the streets, you'll hear Hebrew. It's not, Greeks and people from Cyprus are not clamoring to come to Israel. And here in Israel, tourism is, this may be a shock to people, 5.9% of our gross domestic product. It's my whole life. I am unemployed, I have no income, and it's likely, sadly, to be about another 6 months before I can go back to work, because general flights are not expected to resume again until September. But it's a moot point for most of America, because America, except for places like Texas and Ohio that have opened up again, are in real, there's a real crisis. Who from North Carolina is going to fly up to New York to catch a flight to Israel? I mean, New York's the epicenter of problems in America with COVID-19. So that's the kind of situation here in Israel. So on the one hand, I am many months away from being able to work, and I still can fly out of here to come to America to come and speak. All right, let's push me aside. Gaza. The terrorists in Gaza, from time to time, continue to fire rockets. That's if, just in case, God forbid, we forgot, with everything else going on with the global pandemic, that they exist and want to kill us. So they fire rockets, we retaliate. That's Gaza. What's going on in Syria is Iran continues to posture with their proxies, and we are doing everything. We have got a great defense minister right now, Naftali Bennett. Unfortunately, new government, quote unquote, he will be out, but he's a great defense minister, and he's really looking out for our best interests and actions. 27% of Israelis are currently unemployed. That is the big driver. Now, that is approximately 1 million people. Out of the 1 million, it is expected by our, economic ministry and finance ministry that 400,000 of the 1 million will not have the same jobs to go back to. Now, it would be unlikely and unrealistic to expect that they will have retrained and gone into other careers.
Mhm.
You don't go from, I think of one of the companies that I worked for that booked day tours throughout the country. The people that work there, have got to find a way to pay their rent. They've been out of work for 2 months. Like me. We don't have the same economic grants and same situation for unemployment that y'all have in America. So for us here in Israel, it's sadly a tough situation. But at least many people, not all, will be going back to work shortly.
I go back and forth on this thing all the time. Kathy and I talk about it, where is this thing going to go? And to consider that life for anyone is going to be the so-called normal is just absolutely ridiculous to consider. And it's interesting that you said that the population of Israel
Agreed.
is about the same as the population of New York.
New York City, not New York
New York
State.
City. I cannot imagine 27% unemployment. If you take those numbers and you put them onto America, how many millions of people is that are out of work here? How do you recover from an economy like that?
Well,
you don't.
I'm going to do some math. What are there, 330 million Americans?
Approximately, yeah.
Times 27%, that would be 89 million Americans out of work. Now, I don't think that's anywhere near unemployment in America now, but I don't know. But I do know, for instance, in New York State, they increased the unemployment benefits, and they go on for 6 months.
But see, here's the problem.
And you guys also have the economic stimulus package.
Yeah, but here's the problem with this, that we're not, that's not being talked about everywhere, is that America's been living on. We had a couple friends come over the other night, and it was Kathy posted a picture of me playing Monopoly, and our youngest son actually said, "No, that's fake news," because most people know you have to really hog tie me, and that's not even kosher to play games. I'm not a game player, but I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to be fun instead of boring like I normally am.
The kinder, gentler, fun Michael.
Okay, so we were playing Monopoly. That's all fake money. The world has been operating on fake money for a long time.
Absolutely true.
And now you just exacerbate this thing by, we'll just print a few more $1 trillion and give it out to people that are not working, but yet those people are not producing anything. So let's just print some more money. There comes a time in which that can no longer be kicked down the road.
Absolutely true.
I think we're probably close, very, very close to that can being kicked up against the dead end, which I think for those of us that are looking forward to the restoration and redemption, is this not, is this a great dress rehearsal, or is this the curtain opening and the audience is actually there live?
Wow. Okay. All I can tell you, and I can use the Israeli example. The Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee, is more full now than it has been in decades.
Yeah.
Okay? There is elements of restoration occurring, but I want to get to a point that you made regarding return to normalcy. We will all be dealing with a new normal world. This now, anyone whose life is not changed by this experience, they're going to have problems, because this is probably merely the first of several, whether this is COVID-19 coming back in the fall or in the winter or whenever. We are in the process of redemption. We are, and you know what? People need to spend less time digging in their backyards for the latest conspiracy theory and returning to Hashem and to his Torah. And that's what people are missing. Now, I got to tell you something. This is like a personal plea here. Someone like myself, who is a major, serious, hardcore hugger, this new world is scary. Who's going to want to hug me? Everything. Excuse me. So, I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah. You mentioned conspiracies. You know, we've all been getting the posts, and we've, you know, it's kind of crazy. The videos are coming out, and you find out 10 minutes later that they're fake, and back and forth, back and forth. I said Barry and I recorded yesterday. It'll be coming out tomorrow. I think he's going to post it tomorrow. But this is a time that I believe we need to quit trying to dissect the darkness and start to walk in the light.
Amen. Amen.
You know, the darkness is there, but
now,
you do not bring light into darkness by studying the darkness. You bring light into darkness by turning on the light. It's just too simple. So
you've got to make that into a meme, Mike.
Yeah, you mentioned something, Hanoch, about there is divine intervention, you believe, in the land of Israel. And I mean, I see that there's been divine intervention in Israel. It's the old adage that in order to live in Israel, you must believe in miracles. It's just kind of something that happens there. So again, I was talking to Barry yesterday. We discussed this, and let me get your comments on it. There came a time in the land of Egypt in which there was a line of demarcation between the Hebrews and the Egyptians, that the original plagues were happening to both. Now, my thought on this, Hanoch, is that the Hebrews had become so assimilated into the Egyptian culture that the plagues affected them. But when they began the separation from Egyptian culture, the plagues no longer affected them, but continued in Egypt. Should we be seeing today a group of people in exile, and let's face it, you can be in the land of Israel, but still be living an exile lifestyle? Should we be seeing a people that are becoming separate? Leviticus, we're going through right now. Be set apart as I am set apart. Kadosh, Kadosh. And in the process of that, seeing a people who, as the plagues continue, the plagues don't affect them. Your thoughts?
We should be seeing that. Whether people will do it or not, that's a very short memory. I've been in New York City on 9/11/2001. Everyone spoke that their world was going to be changed forever. And one of the first things that the authorities did after that was they built concrete barriers protecting the institutions at Wall Street against truck bombers.
See if he comes back. No. Okay. Well, folks, that's going to be the Israel update for this week. Sorry, the internet is just not cooperating. I hope you got some news out of there that will help you. And God willing, we'll be able to do this again next week. We'll try some different time frames in order to maybe get a better connection. So, Shavua Tov. May your week be blessed.